Hello, and welcome to Living Legacies of the Ozarks. My name is Hayden Head.
And my name is Sue Head, and we're coming to you from the campus of College of the Ozarks in our Tractor Museum. We have a special guest today who we've known for quite some time, named Lisa Lux. She serves as the Parents as Teachers educator in the Taneyville schools, which are located in our area.
Lisa, we are so excited that you're with us. The first time that I heard you and heard your story was at a Give 5 training program. And just briefly, Give 5 is a program, it's an outreach to people who have time, they're largely retirees, and would like to use their time for their community. And so they're brought in, they do receive training. We visited different area nonprofits to see where people might want to plug in. And I remember, while the training was so helpful in so many ways, but it was really your story that made such an impact. And so I just wanted you to begin, please, with your story.
Yes, absolutely. It was an honor to share my testimony with those who were coming together and donating their time in our area. I have a heart for that myself as well. I was not born and raised in Taney County. I was actually born in the St. Charles area, grew up in St. Louis, and moved here at the age of 5. My family decided to get a fresh start and get out of the city and purchased a farm on the banks of Swan Creek in eastern Taney County, and began a little campground and a little truck farm, a little produce farm. And so that's where I grew up and have some wonderful, wonderful memories of that. I have memories of taking our produce down to the old downtown where the landing is now. I remember selling produce off the old steps with the big trees, with the baseball fields behind us and the Lake Queen out in front of us. I remember going to the Rockaway Beach Fall Festival as a kid, and the fireworks down there. So just lots of really great memories living here as my parents raised us. But unfortunately, my parents didn't leave everything behind in St. Louis. And so there were some choices and some lifestyle choices that my parents made that just brought some trauma to our childhood with drugs and violence and things like that. And so just being a child raised up in Taney County in a small rural school with all these wonderful people, I just remember trying to hide that from them and trying to be like the other kids and try to fit in, even though my life was a little bit different. And then it took a dramatic turn in high school when my mother was killed in a car accident. And so I think that's one of the big things that that resonated with the volunteers, that through trauma, even through the traumatic childhood and through a traumatic event, God was still able to focus my pain and my choices to lead me back into a home and a life where I could serve Him. And so that's kind of inevitably, in a shorter version than what I shared that day, is what happened. So it has been a true blessing to see the way that God works through the people of Taney County that surrounded me and took me in. I had adoptive parents that took me in and showed me a whole different family lifestyle. And so I've been able to grow in that. I was introduced to a church, and my husband and I were introduced, and we've been able to just build our life knowing what we came from and knowing what God intends for us, and just try to start a new lifestyle. And that has led me back to Taneyville School, where I grew up, actually.
So tell us about some of your responsibilities at Taneyville schools, because I think oftentimes you're pouring into the very students who might have experienced things that you did.
Exactly. So I work as a Parents as Teachers educator. And so in that program, I'm serving families who have children who are not yet in school. So meeting those families with those infants, those toddlers, those preschool age children, and even some prenatal moms and dads we meet before babies are even here. So we're talking about child development, we're talking about parenting practices, we're talking about things that make our home, a healthy home for families and for kids. And so those were definitely some of the things I lacked as a kid. And so knowing the kind of outcomes that children can have when they are exposed to those kind of things is very real and in my mind. So I just try to partner with families, help them be good observers of their children. What are their kids good at? What do their kids need help developing? What's age appropriate for kids? What's appropriate for kids? What helps them? And just partnering with parents to do that. And then ultimately, knowing that those homes need to be as healthy as they can for those kids. And so partnering with families to connect them to resources. I have to give a plug out to our Silver Dollar City Foundation for supplying our Care for Kids funds, because that's a big part of my job in meeting the needs of some of our families or their children, making sure they have the resources to be successful and healthy.
Tell us how the Helping Hands Fund works.
Yes. So Silver Dollar City, the Care for Kids, a little different than Helping Hands. I think we've benefited from that program as well. But Care for Kids is a fund that it's a several $1,000s. I'm not for sure what it was this year, but they are so generous to donate that to each of the local public schools, and we are to use that at our discretion to meet the needs of the kids that might not have the resources they need. So some of the things that that we do are very obvious. So getting coats for kids and shoes. We've done shoes already this year, and socks, things like that. Glasses when that's a need for a child. But then sometimes it's a family need. So sometimes getting a little assistance, getting the power bill paid so that they don't lose power to their home. Help with propane bills. Last week, we helped fix a tail light so that a family could get their car inspected so that they could have a legal tag, and not, get pulled over and get another fine that they couldn't afford. So just partnering with them on just anything that's making it hard for their family. So it's a great opportunity for us to kind of use at our discretion, and we're so thankful for our partners at Silver Dollar City Foundation to help us do that, because they don't always know the exact need, but they know they're there, and we're the ones on the front lines that know what those needs are. And so it's nice to have the resources to meet those needs.
Yeah. Silver Dollar City is such a vital part of our community in so many ways that we could look at, not only with Care for Kids, but just what they do in preserving Ozarks culture. So it's I just lost my train of thought.
Well, and I will tell you, Silver Dollar City has also been very instrumental in helping some of our families with finances by employing their middle school and high school age kids. And so we have a Taneyville bus that takes them to Silver Dollar City to work during the summer. That's a program that we've worked out with Silver Dollar City. And so that's been a very good thing for the Taneyville community. And that's touched several of my parents as teachers' families, because if they have older children, they can bring an income into the family, and that's been a very good thing as well.
I had no idea. That's good. That's so good.
God's doing some amazing things in Taney County. It's just don't always know how his hands are working. Yeah.
Well, and that's part of what Living Legacies wants to do, is to preserve sort of those values and virtues that we get to see in our neighbors all the time, and particularly in a place. And all of Ozark Mountain Country, but we think about Branson with its hospitality and its welcoming people in. And I mean, obviously, in your role in Taneyville, you were bringing hope to so many young people. And like Sue had said, we once heard a nun say to us, "Your wound becomes your gift," and that's what you're doing. You're taking that.
That's my hope. That is really my hope. I tell people that I got buried at the same church where we had my mom's funeral, because I don't want that to be the only memory, and that's the way I feel like my life is too. I don't want to be defined by the girl whose mom died in high school. I've had people introduce me that way, and that's not what my legacy is. I think my legacy is to show that I was raised with those things, but I was able to overcome them and to turn my life over to the Lord and live right here in the area where I grew up, and just try to to do that, to show hope, to show that there is a way to overcome those traumas and those obstacles, and just help people to understand that God is good even in the hard times.
Well, I'm sure that you've seen stories in some of the students that you've worked with and changes in their lives. Do any stories come to mind for you?
So, oh goodness, I work with so many amazing kids, so many amazing moms and dads, and I don't want to make any of them uncomfortable, but just some of the needs I've that come to mind. I partnered with one mom because they'd never had a table to sit at and eat together. And that was just a goal that we set and talked about that, and that became part of their family routine then, to sit at the table and eat together. I've had so many moms that want to read more books. And so with the Imagination Library, through Dolly Parton's Imagination Library, that's a wonderful resource as well for our families, getting books in the hands of moms so that they can read with their kids. And we practice that skill when I'm there. So just some of those just simple little things, just making those daily changes. And I think that's really the best story to share. And I have lots of big ones, but for anybody listening, it's the little day-to-day things that you can change that really do add up and make such a difference for your children.
That's amazing. Well, we're so proud of the work that you're doing. It's really important, life-changing for kids in the Taneyville school system who just may need someone who believes in them and encourages them and gives them hope. So what a blessing.
I'm thankful for the opportunity to be here and share our work, and we appreciate that opportunity.
Right. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you so much for being here. Thanks, Lisa. And thank you for joining us at Living Legacies of the Ozarks. We hope you have a wonderful day. Living Legacies of the Ozarks is brought to you by Ozark Mountain Legacy, College of the Ozarks, the Hirsch and Family Foundation, Meyer Hotels, and Sight and Sound Theaters.